Well, I'm sitting here with Secret Machines, and I'll do intros first, if you don't mind. Start with you, Ben.
I'm Benjamin from Secret Machines.
And what do you play?
I play the guitar, sing every now and then.
I love asking that question.
Yeah.
I'm his brother Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
And I play keyboards and sing.
What's your favourite colour?
Orange.
Shut
today.
up. Josh.
Yeah, I'm the drummer, Secret Machines, Josh Garza.
Right. So I think the first thing I want to ask you...
All right.
What do your parents do, by the way? Ben and Brandon, your brothers.
My mom works at she sells lights, like in a home furnishings kind of situation, you know.
Yeah. Our dad's been through, he was a district attorney for a little while. Then he was fancied himself a good Christian. Had a church for a little while. Then he took up law.
No, he's some kind of attorney.
What about you, Joe?
Let's see, my mom's retired, but it seems like she has a full-time job of taking care of my sister's kids.
Yeah.
It seems like. And my dad passed away
I'm sorry.
a few years ago. And so, yeah, I think my mom's just taking it easy these days.
Is she in Dallas?
She was in Dallas. She moved down to San Antonio to be a little closer to her family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you guys were originally from Dallas.
Yeah.
Although that's not quite true, is it? Because were you guys from Oklahoma?
We grew up in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then moved to Dallas and then met each other there.
The interesting thing is, just after you'd formed, you had an EP pretty much within minutes.
Yeah,
With-
6 weeks after we started rehearsing, we recorded that EP and then started giving it away.
Yeah,
But that's tremendous. Was it written stuff, or was it done in the studio?
We wrote that pretty much from the first second to the end. That was all we had. I think we booked the session before we'd played a note together, and we went in and wrote it, and that was it.
So you did it in the studio?
No, in a rehearsal studio, and just went up to Chicago and laid it down.
That's pretty amazing. That's really good.
Thank you.
It's good for us because I think we wanted to just mark our beginning point, like from the very, very, very beginning, you know,
Yeah.
what we sounded like and what was going on just from the very, you know, for the moments of inception, you know.
At what point did you say, God, we're a shit-hot band, let's go to New York?
We said that before we even played a note together.
Oh,
It was
really?
we booked studio time, rehearsal time, decided to move to New York, just standing in front of a bar one night. We're like, we're doing it, let's
Yeah.
go.
Wow.
Actually, we decided to move to New York before I think this band was together, like before.
We were just like, we were all going.
We decided we have to move to New York. Can't stay in Texas. You know, it's a great place to leave.
Give me some heartache stories about New York. Or don't you have any?
Oh man!
Did you land on your feet as soon as you got here, or was it...
Well, we were on the beach. It
Well,
seemed like.
We pulled in and like we had to break into the apartment.
What, Jones Beach?
It seemed like we were
Jones
storming
Beach, yeah.
Jones Beach. Yeah, we had to. Well, we got to town. We pulled up, and I guess we got there too late, and the guy didn't stick around, so we had to break into our apartment. Then we had no heat, no hot water.
For about the first month.
We had a big bowl that we'd microwave the water. We had a microwave.
We had a microwave. No stove.
Kind of like urban camping. That's one of the necessities. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of heartache, right?
It was.
I mean, the room ended up being big enough for our gear on one side and the 3 beds and then like the stereo and a couch at the other end. And so that's kind of how we spent our time, either rehearsing, sleeping, or listening to music. I was in Bushwick, kind of in east a little bit of Williamsburg. They call it East Williamsburg now.
Which
don't
is
they?
baloney.
Gentrification.
It is.
Right, and
Yeah.
you know, and people now are saying, "Wow, you know, it's not so bad. It's it's a little rough, but it's kind of cool." But yeah, we're talking 5 years ago when we were there, and it wasn't cool. You know,
Yeah.
it was really hard. It was like,
It seems to be happening so fast. Like it's swarming out there. You know what I mean? It just turns into cultures are being, you know, there's a lot of upheaval and like just people moved in and took over and installed coffee shops and bars and vitamin stores and boutique clothing
We were so
outlets.
excited when we moved. I was looking at the Underground guide. I saw the subway stops.
Yeah.
Our stop and the 2 on either side. It was like, don't get off here. It's like it's combat zones.
And it's so incredibly... I mean, you've obviously hit the big time because you're now living back in Manhattan, right?
Oh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
glamorous.
I was in Manhattan and I
Yeah,
moved
it is
back
pretty
to
glamorous, isn't it? Yeah, I know your street. Actually, there's some good restaurants on your street.
Yeah, there are.
No, it's not bad at all. Is Jeff Blenkinsop involved on the new album in any way?
No.
Was that fun working with him?
It was. He was good for us at that time because he kind of introduced us to a lot of the way old electronics worked, or like the way the first generation of synths, and kind of from the inside out, like how they operated. And his stuff that he built for us just wasn't up for the wear and tear of playing 200 shows, in a row. And so
that's the trouble with the older stuff.
Yeah, for us, I mean, this record, we wanted to do something that was with materials that are very readily available, and like stuff that's kind of off the rack, and it seemed to work but just as well. But I think our understanding of how those things worked was a direct result of working with him and understanding how the stuff he built worked.
Yeah. No, the new album is absolutely lovely.
Thank
really like it a lot. The first 3 tracks in a row there, what a strong beginning.
Thank you.
Really exceptional. You proud of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we really are.
Girly songs.
Really?
Songs about girls.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, I think just over the course of the last 2 years since our record came out, we've all broken up with girlfriends and been with new ones and been dumped, and kind of it's just been a kind of a change in our lifestyle. I mean, for us it's not a complaint, but it was just an observation that when you go from living one place and being in a band to going from a band that travels constantly for 2 years, your whole life kind of changes. And it was just an interesting kind of shift in the way you relate to other people.
So it is externalizing a lot of what you're feeling inside.
Hopefully, but not so specifically so that no one else would be able to relate to it too. I don't think it's so much.
So you mythologize it a bit.
A little bit.
Give it a story.
Sure.
Line, a narrative thing. And the soundscaping is pretty fantastic as well.
Thank you.
How much overdubbing do you do?
Not a lot. I mean, a lot of the stuff we do, like, just record, everything through a lot of the parts through a mixer, and just kind of put it all down onto 2 tracks. I mean, it's not really ornate. I mean, we did it mostly on 16-track, 2-inch.
And sometimes just treating stuff, it actually gives it a depth that an overdub does more than like actually doing another part.
Yeah.
We do that a lot. We take something that's already there, or a group of things, run it back, and mess it up, and it just changes the harmonics and creates a new part entirely.
Because you're triggering a lot of things on stage, right?
Yeah,
Not on stage so much.
You're not doing it on stage?
We're trying to get
believe
to
it or
that
not,
point.
yeah, we're trying to get to the point where my kick drum maybe triggers effects or something.
It's just all guitar and Rhodes, bass,
Yeah.
no triggers.
Yeah.
Boy, you're tight with the bass.
It's because I'm playing to this guy, because he does these delays, and I just like, it's easy to just latch on and to like really get into this.
I took it for granted that it was a trigger device, because it's so
Like he and I,
tight.
like playing bass and the kick drum together, it's kind of like I try and just play what he plays more than anything else. I mean, even if it sacrifices something else,
Boy, it works.
Yeah, thank you.
I noticed how the New York crowd has really become very close with you. They're very friendly with you. It really feels like they're your crowd now.
It feels really warm to play here. Like, it feels like home, and there's a lot of people who are like our friends, and they're very familiar, and it feels more open. I mean, compared to a lot of places where it feels like you still have to do some winning over and some conversion, you know what I mean? Like, this feels like...
Yeah, but there's a palpable difference between now and, say, when did I first come back? A couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
A real difference. I mean, they're really into you now in a major way.
Whew, thank God.
It's good.
Yeah.
You've been doing, like, pretty large shows over in Europe, with some of the festivals?
Some festivals, and we just did a tour with Foo Fighters in 10 cities in Europe.
Do you find that you can still lay back as much as you would in a smaller show? Or do you kind of make things far more concise?
Opening for bands like that sort of thing. Oh yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
And even in a festival situation, you just can't... That people don't have the patience, or it's just a different atmosphere, so you have to have a different approach, kind of,
So you're much more succinct with, this is how it works.
As much as we can,
Yeah.
And each song becomes a building block of a tight show.
Absolutely.
Well, it's just you can't really explore like you can't go as high or as low, really, because it just seems on and off.
Although, have you tried, what's the largest audience you've played to yourselves as a headliner?
That's a good question.
Maybe close to, in London last time at Electric Ballroom, I think there was like 1,600 people there.
And how did that feel? Do you feel that you could just let go there?
Yeah. It was real. Like it was as warm as New York. I mean, it was like people were dancing and it was and just spacing out.
So you can foresee yourself, you can feel what it's going to be like when you're playing those arena type situations, and you can kind of just lay a soundscape for
it's a little
5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, it's a hint of it. It's a hint, hopefully, of what's to come. Because I think I feel like we were in a position where we could do that well if we were given the opportunity to play a large room and to fill it with sound and make it immersive. And I think we could. I don't know. I think that's something we'd really like to do.
I'd like to explain that the machines really work in a soundscape fashion live, and there's a real continuity between the first piece of music and the second and the third, and the show really feels like a long trip that you're taking on. It's a great experience. They're one of the best live bands I've seen for a long, long time.
Wow.
Really up there with Deerhoof, who are my other favourites at the moment.
They're so incredible.
They're wonderful as well.
Yeah.
And are you getting a great response around America? What's it like in the middle there? You know what I mean? Not the coasts, but mid-America. How's that going?
The dedicated few are amazing in the middle, you know?
Yeah,
They really are.
because that's a tough crowd, the middle.
Yeah.
I think once they hear it and once they experience it, it feels very loyal. But it's just it's difficult to kind of penetrate the space or the distance that they share they have from each other. You know, it's just so big and sprawling, and the urbanness. You know, it's just kind of hard to reach out to all the people that could potentially like us. You know,
Absolutely. Choosing your favourite things for Idaho is it's hard.
It is hard. Yeah.
It's hard work.
Just waking up to all the joy that you've outgrown, memories I can't erase, alone, jealous and stoned.
I love Alone, Jealous and Stoned. Is that the first single?
Sort of.
It was actually, we released
Do you
on a
bother with
12
singles
inch.
these days? I mean, I guess you would need treat it as a kind of a commercial or something for the album.
The record company insists on it still.
Yeah.
They seem still attached to that kind of thing. They did, with Alone, Jealous and Stone, they released a 12-inch one-sided limited edition in the UK. And it got picked up as like singles and featured as like single of the week. And
In the sun.
In the Sun, they put it as
Oh,
Alone,
yeah?
Jealous and Stone was.
That's fantastic. Do you know what a breakthrough that is?
Yeah.
That really is something else. I believe in the populist press. As long as I'm not in it.
Yeah,
But this country was built on the populist press.
exactly.
Britain certainly is.
But we just did
So who's going out with a page 3 girl?
No, not yet.
I wish we could have
yet.
been at least introduced. We didn't
Yeah.
have a chance.
I was so excited about the single of the week. It shows my priorities are all messed up.
No,
you know?
that is really good.
What's a limited edition, one-sided 12-inch record? You're not really going to make the charts, you know, with that. I mean, no matter what they do. So,
Yeah, and it seemed like the label had to sign most of those copies for somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, they're in a box.
You make videos as well, right?
Yeah, we just made one yesterday.
And where do you? I mean, video's also got a very limited distribution, it seems, these days. Or will it be pretty much an internet thing?
I think it's an internet thing. I just think it seems like a little bit of a relic of another time, you know.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like that they insist on spending money on doing these large production video things, and you can't say no, because they feel like that's what record companies do.
Europe, it's still got some play because there's still quite a lot of video outlets over there. But America, it just doesn't exist really anymore.
In the face of that, we actually are working on a film with this director, Charles Demeaux. We're going to do a lot of live performance and some kind of shots of some landscape things in this town.
Is this down in... sorry.
Yeah, in Marfa, Texas, yeah.
I mean, it's almost like The Last Waltz a bit, you know, where it's not just about the music, it's sort of about the attempt, you know, to try to film a little discussion about, you know, Marfa and how hard it is to just do something like this, where it's just for artistic reasons, not like we're not like setting out to make a DVD so that we can sell it. You
Yeah.
know?
Which if we're actually gonna do filming some conversations with some artists and people that are there in Marfa and discussing that same thing of like, what's it like to make art or pop art or music in today's climate and culture, and
What's the story of Marfa, the Donald Judd kind of beginnings?
He
and all
went
that?
there in the mid '70s and found this Air Force base and just kind of made it his life's work to install his, it kind of impressed his vision on this place and built 2 really huge sculptures and have some space to. And his vision was it was going to be him and his friends, a place to have permanent exhibitions in a scale that is as big as they could possibly conceive of.
Was it like a cowboy town before, or?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's kind of a pretty wild. I mean, it's not really a border town in the sense there's a lot of traffic because there's not a really. There's really nothing there, but it's a pretty eccentric part of the world around
They
Big
filmed
Bend
the
in Texas.
Giant there, right?
Yeah, Giant.
I feel giant.
Was that giant film?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ah.
It was it's a town that I think at some point they thought it was going to be a boom town because of the oil business, but it never happened, and it just kind of was dwindling. And then Donald Judd found this place, and now there is kind of a place for like artists to come. It's a little bit of a pilgrimage to it,
Yeah.
people, and there's
Yeah.
galleries and a lot of interesting and creative things happening there.
When you say artists, it's mainly visual artists, or is it musicians?
Well,
No, not really
it
musicians.
seems like we're maybe the only musicians that interested in it at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It's
that's
a
good.
total collision, though. There's just ranchers, and just
Yeah.
people that are just living way outside of society, but there's like coffee shops,
Yeah.
and there's like in
A
a
wine
gallery,
bar.
and a wine
And
bar.
what's your particular connection with Marfa? Do you think emotional or spiritual or what?
I think it's just a place that we found, and it spoke to us. Like the way the art exists there, and the feeling there is bigger than the art. It's such a incredible landscape, and it's so open and so big. And there's still a kind of like an energy feeling in the ground. Like one of those places that exist in a few places on the earth that you just kind of get recharged by just
Yeah.
being there.
Yeah, guess it's probably similar to how I felt about Berlin when I first went there.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
it was, wow, I really feel a part of this for some
Yeah.
reason.
And it's almost like that feeling is a challenge in a way to figure out how do you get into that, how do you become a part of it? If the feeling it gives you is almost like the fuel to like really re-energize yourself
Yeah.
into it, like invest yourself into that place.
Yeah.
And the art is like, it seems really inseparable too. And we've always been interested in like music that's kind of inseparable from where we're making it. And so that's why we chose to go there and document it this time.
Yeah. You talking about connections, you have a very strong connection with Connie Plank in as much as the whole
Yeah.
Dusseldorf thing
Yeah.
is very apparent in being it underpins a lot of your work beautifully. I mean, I haven't heard a band that's taken advantage of that lineage so well. I mean,
Wow,
you do it,
thank you.
you really explore it well. In fact, you're working with Michael Rota, aren't you?
Yeah.
He's such a great guy, and just to be able to sit and talk about music and like
Oh,
his
yeah.
perspective of music, it was really instructive to
How does the idea of going into the studio with actually absolutely nothing written now appeal to you? I mean, would you still take that kind of chance?
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With these guys, are you kidding me? It would be, that sounds like a good time.
Standing in front of like a blank canvas or empty reel of tape is just really exhilarating. You know what I mean?
That's what I
It's
want.
such a
that
great feeling.
moment.
Cause the daddy's in the doldrums, and mama wants to dance. Yeah, daddy's in the doldrums, and he can barely stand.
Dad is in the Doldrums is another track that I read. That's got quite an obvious link to the first album. And do you see links between the first album and this new album?
I think so. I think the first record was an introduction, and there's a lot of paths that we started, and there's a few different directions we could go in. I think we kind of stepped in a few of those directions, in this record. I definitely think this one it's related to a feeling in the first record that, to me, we could have developed more even, you know.
One of my overall favourites is Lightning Blue Eyes. That's such a beautiful song.
We just did the video yesterday for that. I think it'll be the first single, which we managed to get a 3-minute edit.
Yeah. We cut it down.
I think you got a single there.
Weight of persuasion when you changed your mind. I left the ground, you just gave in. It was the only time.
Do you have contact with your fans?
Yeah.
How does that work for you? Do you talk to them at gigs and before gigs and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
We try to.
I think at this point we kind of recognize it's some of the same people in certain cities. So
Yeah.
it's still like possible to hang out with them. It seems like at
Do you
this
get
point.
travellers?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
We got a couple.
Yeah, there's some travelers. Some travel more than others.
Right.
Some people travel. And I
Right.
can't believe it.
In
It's
fact,
mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, they really
It's
did go
interesting.
for it.
They do.
I can't believe that. Little bed rolls with them and
Just it's incredible.
in fact, I think a couple of them showed up at the video
Yeah.
I don't know how they knew
Because
about it.
I mean, yeah, I didn't even know that people were going to be like in like a little audience kind of thing. And I was like, man, there's that couple that always shows up at concerts.
yeah, information really gets about so fast these days.
Yeah.
You can't believe that they actually can anticipate where you're going to be.
I can't either.
Do you get do you get good feedback from fans?
I usually hear you look taller on stage. that's pretty much the only criticism I get.
I mean, I can imagine they always ask Brandon like what the lyrics mean, which I can see being difficult. You know, you don't want to really answer that. But for me, they're always like, man, you know that beat on the third song? I really like that beat. I'm like, cool. So I have simple questions with my fans, actually.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And that's such an important question.
Yeah, it was like, man, so how'd you do that?
How'd you do that? Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I just did it. Yeah. Especially this time around, I think, we were talking about just going into the studio with nothing. A few of the songs on the new record, we had the song, but we didn't know how we were going to play it.
Yeah.
And we didn't let that bother us or freak us out. It was like, let's figure it out real quick and then just record.
Yeah.
Because we know the song, we know the structure, but let's try something different, whether it's the rhythm or it's something Ben is doing. And I think it's that middle ground between just doing completely improvised recording and coming in with something already laid out. That was kind of fun this time around.
What's your own favourite track on the album?
Oh, I had to say, I Hate Pretending,
Okay.
because it's very unusual for us. It's a different beat, different type of song, and then there's the end freak out. End freakouts are always fun.
Yeah.
I never thought a moment spoke so well as the second when you tried to be kind. Stumbling over the telephone, ringing, looking for your voice on the line. There was an orange-lipped girl with her knees crossed, sitting on the carpet in cold. She was holding on to the money, and I was doing what I was told. There was an undercover cop parked right across the road.
And yours, Brandon?
I don't have a favorite. I mean, it's like for me, the whole record, I still am, I don't know, trying to understand it and explore it myself. I like.
Well, what's the
whole
track that you're quite warm about?
thing. It changes. It changes. I mean, I want to know if it's still possible. I still.
Tell me your favourite track.
My favorite track is I Want to Know If It's Still Possible. Garth Hudson played on it, and the keyboard player from the band did an accordion solo on it. It's really awesome. And I think just like it brings back memories of the day he spent in the studio with us, and he kind of gave us a music lesson and told us stories about the band, and just every time I hear that song, it reminds me of that.
I wanna know if it's still possible to find a place that's ours.
No,
Well, give us, okay, if you've got two favourite tracks,
No, I
that's
was
cool,
gonna- I was
because
gonna
then we
jump-
can get everything going
Oh,
here.
yeah.
let's see. What's another
Oh,
favorite?
you know what? I really love 1,000 Seconds.
The last track?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very cool track. Tell me something about that track.
I have played it on a vibraphone, and then just really messing with it. That was a lot of fun.
Was that pre-written before you went in the studio?
Yeah. That's something I'm pretty much Brandon brought in. He's had it around for a long time.
Must admit it's a balancing act. It looks dangerous. That's part of it. Remember, don't look down. You and I standing in a crowded room. We were pressed together, but we're holding on like we're all there once. That's all there was.
We just it was just the constant struggle of the Secret Machines trying to like do the song justice and the feeling justice without getting like trapped in too much cliche, you know, because that's just the kind of walking the dog and all those things. You could really step in some sticky.
It's a little struggle, it seems like, to do something like that in your own voice without, because you can slip into someone else's so easily.
Yeah. Have you ever written for, or do you see yourselves writing for theatre in some way, or for something theatrical? I'm trying to leave that as wide open as possible, to where you yourselves are not involved, but you're writing for something that takes place on stage.
I think we'd love that. I mean, the idea, if we were given, write music that describes this situation or could fill the background or, create this kind of environment or this kind of mood, I think we've never actually been able to have the opportunity to do that, but I think it's something we'd love to do.
Yeah, and writing and removing ourselves from the performance of it is really, really enticing as well,
It's really interesting. In my experience, writing for something or somebody else is such a whole lot easier kind of thing to do.
Yeah.
I think it's because you take the responsibility away somehow. You say, well, hey, I don't care, it's not me doing it. But that is a great freeing thing, because it releases all your inhibitions.
Totally.
And you really kind of, what if I did this or what if I did that? And you can write stuff that you probably would never have thought of writing for yourself.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is that a few months later you'll say, damn, I wish I kept that for me.
Yeah.
That's happened to me quite a few times, especially in the earlier days. And I think I've done that these days. I've started initially writing something for another project and thought, oh, that's pretty good. I'm pulling this back. I'll put this in a cupboard.
Yeah.
What can we give them?
Yeah, we just did. There's a movie that the director Julie Taymor's doing that it's a musical based on Beatles songs, and we did "I'm the Walrus."
Yeah.
We played the music, and Bono sang the part because it's his character in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was just incredible. I mean, it was a similar experience. Although we weren't writing, we were able to kind of reinterpret the song. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's something that you really do well. Your interpretation of the Dylan things that's really extraordinary.
It's like going back to school a little bit, learning trying to think how that person thought or what they, how they would approach it.
Yeah.
Kind of internalizing their musical process or something.
And at the same time when you're doing those covers, it's like, well, they already did it the right way. Dylan already did, the perfect version. So, why do a version trying to duplicate that? Let's really freak it out. Let's do the Secret Machine version. And that's what's kind of fun about doing I'm the Walrus. Is like, first of all, just doing a Beatles cover, it's almost like you shouldn't be allowed to do Beatles covers because, it's the Beatles, they already did it right. But it gave us a chance to be, because even, they approached us because they knew that we would do something different with it. And that was the fun part.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
not having to do Ringo's part.
Yeah.
I totally just made my own beat for the song,
When should we see that, do you know?
November, I think, of this year.
Great. Listen, guys, thank you very much for coming in today, and we'll see you on tour.
Thanks.